This conference will now be recorded.
So you can see I'm able to log in. So there is a different type of package manager which comes with a different operating system. So generally with Ubuntu or Debian based, it comes with apt. Like all the software you can install using apt. And in CentOS or rhel or Oracle, all these kind of operating system, you can install any software by using YUM. So I'm going to update the repository. What is the repository and how the packaging system works here in Linux. So in your Android machine, what do you have? Like you have a phone, you have a Play Store. In that Play Store, you will have the list of all the softwares, and you click on install, it gets installed, correct? So what are all software, when you open the Play Store, what are all software it's listing, it's called a repository. Repository, it's a collection of software placed at a common place. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So Google is holding the repository. Google is holding that repository, and from there you use to download the softwares. Similarly, in the same way, Ubuntu also holds a repository which we are not going to access those repository by a GUI interface. So we will access all those repository using a command line. So we'll run a command, something XYZ, it looks into this repository, it fetches that particular software, and if I'm giving a command to install that software, it installs that software. So all the arguments or all the commands or all the function I will perform with the repository by using yum command. Let's see what are all yum supports. Okay, so from now onwards, for everything I will write a command, since it's not a GUI. And it's better, I will say, everybody to start using command line, even though if you have installed something with the GUI, to start using command line terminal only. Don't use GUI for any work. It's not like you can't do any work from GUI, but it's better to use command line. Because as a Linux admin or big server, wherever you go, it comes only with command line. It doesn't come with GUI. So what we can see here is, so note down commands, whatever I'm running and what is the purpose of that. If you have any doubt, please go ahead and ask me the question. If you have any doubt in running the commands, whatever I'm using. So we can see that all the output has gone above and we don't have any access that how we can go inside this and see what is running, what has been printed on the top. So for that, I will add a pipe like this symbol and I will add more. Now you can see it's started from starting. I can use yum check update or clean, all these yum erase, all these things I can run. Yum install, yum list, yum update minimal. There are several commands which I can run. So in a fresh system, what I need to do is yum sudo yum update. What it's saying is you need to be root to perform this command. It means like only an administrator can run this command, because installing a software and removing the software should not be managed by a normal user. So how we can perform without being a root user? We have a privilege called sudo. Using sudo, we can hook the admin privileges being in a normal user as well. So like this, I can run the command sudo space yum space update, and it will ask for the command. Sorry, it will ask for the password. What is the password for sudo user? So I have given CentOS only. So let's see. Yeah, so it has taken, but it's throwing some error. Could not retrieve this repository. We have hit with some error. Could not retrieve this mirror. Could not resolve the host. Unknown error. So let me check whether internet is available here or not even. Okay. Ping google.com. It's not working. It means internet is not available. IP address show I have done, and I can see that there is no IP assigned to this ENP0S3. Yesterday I have told you during the installation that our Ethernet, whatever is with the virtual machine, the name is going to be ENP0S3. Okay, it will not be ETH0 or it will not be Wi-Fi or anything. It will have some kind of this name, and we can see the information. It doesn't have anywhere IP assigned. It shows us the MAC address. So there is a command for that. There is a command for that. Let me try. So what I have done is I have asked, I have run this command which gave me the IP through DHCP for this interface, ENP0S3. Okay, you can see here it is trying to discover the net mask, and it has requested for a new IP, and DHCP server which is running, it has offered 10.0.2.2 IP to this virtual machine, and it has acknowledged that yes, I'm going to assign this IP. Sorry, DHCP server, I believe it's 2.2 and it has bound to 10.0.2.15, I believe. Let me check what is the IP assigned here for this system. Yeah, you can see 14 has been assigned here. This is the IP. 10.0.2.15 is the IP. You can see it has been assigned. And after assigning successful IP, I tried to ping and it is pinging google.com. Okay. So here one thing we have learned is, if internet is not working, how we can resolve the issue, or if something is not getting updated, how we can see that. We can ping a particular we can ping any particular website, and we can see that if that particular website is pinging or not. If it's not pinging, it means you don't have active internet connection. And if you don't have active internet connection, please go ahead and check whether you have IP or not. If you have IP, then go ahead and check why you don't have active internet connection. If you don't have IP, then assign it. That's what I've done here. Here I was not having any IP, and that's why I have assigned the IP using DHCP server. And after assigning the IP using through DHCP server, I have active internet here. You can see it's pinging. Okay, so now I will run my old command. For updating the package. It's running. You can see that it's downloading the data. So what, for doing anything, we need to we need to run this command. And what it is going to do is, I don't want to do that right now. Yum install ssh-server. Okay, open ssh-server. So we can see the two commands, whatever I have run, and what is the purpose. Actually, here I was trying to install a package named OpenSSH server. Sorry, SSH server. I have tried to install. So command for that was, yeah, this is the command. Let me highlight this. This is the command I was running, sudo yum install SSH server. So it gave me this output that there's no package SSH server available. So after that, I have searched using this command in the full repository that what is the actual name of the SSH server package or SSH server software. So the full name of this package of this software is OpenSSH server. You can see that here. There are two software present, OpenSSH-sysv init and OpenSSH-server. So my job was to install this one, OpenSSH-server. So I have replaced my command with yum install OpenSSH -server, and I'm trying to install it. It's asking whether is this okay if I want to install or not. I will say yes. I'll press Y and then I'll press enter. It will install that package. It creates the key. So I need to give yes, create a key. Now OpenSSH has been installed. The purpose of this software to install, I will tell later. So now here we have seen three things: how to install a package, how to update all the packages, and how to update the repository, and how to search a package in the repository. Okay. And let me check if something like that is available. Yeah. Yum info open SSH server. By using this command, we can get to know the information of that particular software. There is a name is OpenSSH server. Architecture is x86_64. It means like it's running on a 64-bit operating system. This is a 64-bit CentOS on a 64-bit machine, and the version is 7.4p1. The release is 22.el7.9 7_9. This is the size 970. Repo is installed. It's from this repo, and URL for that particular package is this, and this is the description of that particular software. So by using this command, yum info OpenSSH server, yum info and that particular package name, we can get to know what is the version of that particular software. Okay. Anybody has any doubt so far?
So,
Yeah, go
if
ahead.
if IP is not coming, we can also use the MNCL connection up. It will also update the IP, right?
There are several ways, Komal, to do that. It's not just only one way. I can assign the IP from static as well. There can be one solution. Another solution can be I can assign the IP during DHCP, which is worked here for me. Another solution can be that cable itself is not connected. Suppose, okay, DHCP is there. So my machine, this machine is trying to take the IP, but cable itself is disconnected. Then I need to literally go physically and connect the cable. Anyways, even though in this virtual machine, cable connection is not required, but how I can do that, let me show you. Let's see. It is switched to scale mode. Okay. The solution Windows has been switched to scale mode. You can go back to window mode by any time. Yes, I wanted this one. So this is visible, correct, to everybody?
Yes, sir.
So what I was trying to say that suppose my cable itself is disconnected. So here I can do that here like this. Connect network adapter. I'm just going to disconnect it. Okay. I have disconnected the connection here. We can see here this icon is turned off. Let me show here. You can see that here. It's visible that it is like grayed out, so it's not active right now.
Yes, sir.
And let me see the IP. IP address show is a command. It still have IP. Okay, let me ping Google. We are not able to ping. Correct?
Yeah.
One information we can get to know from here that in this second there is a state which is down. Okay, it means our hardware connection is not up. So that's where we will try to go and resolve the issue. So I will once again go back here, input, sorry, devices, network. I will connect it, and once again I will try to show. Now you can see that difference state is up. Okay, and if I try to run once again the ping, it will go. It's going.
Yes.
So this is another way of resolving the problem. So problem can be a number of things. The problem can be your ISP itself is not responding. I mean, the DNS server itself is not responding, suppose, or your ISP itself is not responding. In some case, your net mask is wrong. Problem can be anything. So you need to understand the problem and you need to resolve the problem. That's what your job is. You are an admin. Okay.
Okay.
So suppose I don't have all settings are good. My all settings are good, but I don't have DNS. I mean, DNS is a IP or a server which tells me the IP of a particular website. Suppose if I'm opening a google.com or facebook.com or gmail.com. So actually internally it runs with an IP. It doesn't run with google.com. So that particular IP we don't know, but we remember the name of that particular website is Google. So we type google.com, and for us hidden behind this google.com is an IP, and that particular IP used to be get stored by the DNS. So you can see that in every IP there is a DNS, and if you are not entering the DNS, by default there is a DNS which is given by your ISP, internet service provider, and at that particular DNS your request goes, and that DNS gives you the IP of that particular website, and further it fetches the data from that particular IP. So here also you can see that I have pinged it. I have pinged this google.com. Ping google.com. It has got the IP 142.250.195.238. If you go to your Chrome and you type https:// this IP, you'll be able to open Google. It'll open Google. Okay, so it's pinging this IP address. Pardon?
Maximize the terminal, it's not visible. The commands are not visible.
Yeah. I asked before, let me do that again. scale mode is only going to work, I believe. This is okay?
That's better.
Yeah. So what I was saying is, you can see that when I have done ping google.com, it has gone with this IP. And if you want to open google.com rather than a name, if you want to open with the IP, you can simply type https:// this particular IP address, and it's going to open Google for you. So the purpose of saying this concept is everywhere it's only IP, it's not the name. But yes, the name is associated and it has stored with the DNS server, and DNS server's responsibility is to tell us the IP of that particular website. So suppose if I have mentioned the wrong DNS, which is not giving the IP. So first of all, I'll check that particular DNS. For Google, I remember that DNS server IP is 8.8.8. 8.8.8.8. So I'm pinging and it's giving me the IP. So it means I'm able to ping the DNS server, which gives me the IP or which resolves the IP. So it means I should be able to go and ping the network. Some case there can be a problem that I am able to connect to the DHCP server. DHCP server, it's a server which runs into my own local network, and it provides, and that particular server provides me the IP, local IP. I'll tell you what is called local IP and global, or probably your external IP. Okay, I'll tell you the difference as well in those two. So, okay, let me tell right away here itself. So locally, IP can be dependent on your DHCP server. DHCP stands for Dynamic Host Control Protocol, and the server's responsibility is to give IP through the given rule, whatever it has been given, while coming up with the DHCP server. So here in this, we can see that IP has been assigned 10. Where is that? Yeah, 10.0.2.15. And here my local system IP might be a bit different. I'm trying to show you the network IP, what I have for my Wi-Fi. You can see me, you can see here, it's the IP is 192.168.101.5. Okay. So it has got this IP. This IP has been given by my local router, and local router is accessible on this IP 192.168.101.1, and from here it's going to these two DNS servers 8.8 and 8.8.4.4. These two, I can show that these two belongs to Google. So this is my router IP. If I want, I can go and I can access this IP here. You can see that it has opened a portal of my router. I'm not going to open that right now. So my purpose to say that here a DHCP server is running in my router, and that router has offered me this IP 101.5, and after that this system has got 101.5 IP, and in this server system I'm running a virtual machine which is also running a DHCP server, and here in this virtual machine which is running a DHCP server, this virtual machine has asked for the IP, and this virtual machine has asked for the IP, and this virtual machine has got an IP from this services, this virtual box, whichever running the DHCP server, and it has got the IP 10.0.2.15. Okay, so it's all a local IP which nobody knows from the outside. This is defined with our own server and which is defined for our local devices. So what is the external IP then? That we can get to know. What is my IP? This is my IP. 59.98.28.233. This is the IP which has been given by my ISP, and this is my identity as of now. Whatever packet comes from here, it goes from this IP only. Okay. So that we can call it as an external IP, whatever we have seen just now, and that is visible to external world, and this is visible to internal world. I mean internal or locally. So we have learned here the package management, how to search, how to install, how to, okay, let's run this first command again. Sudo yum space update. It's asking for the password again. I've given the CentOS. What it is doing? At first, when your system is fresh, if you are trying to install a software, you need to run the update first. So what that update does, let me explain here. Suppose it has 1,000 number of softwares sitting on this server. 1,000 servers are sitting. Sorry, 1,000 number of softwares are sitting here. And there will be several files as well. Different type of file. Those files actually are not the packages, or those are not the softwares, but these files stores the metadata of all these packages. I mean, what is the name of the packages, what is the size of individual packages, what is the purpose of all those packages. So those metadata get stored by these files. So whenever we run sudo apt-get, in Ubuntu, when we run sudo apt-get update, or in CentOS, if we run sudo yum space update, it's going to download this file only. Okay. It's going to download only this file. And it will download this file, and it will have access to all the things. And I try to install the OpenSSH software. After updating, I try to install. So my command has gone in this file and searched if the OpenSSH, SSH-server package is available or not. It throws an error if you remember that package is not available. And after throwing error, I searched. So that my command yum search SSH-server, it's going to search in this file only, which is stored locally in my laptop. Okay, because when I've run yum update, it has downloaded this file, and it has given me the name of that particular package. That the SSH server is not the name, OpenSSH-server. So when I have downloaded when I have run the command sudo yum install OpenSSH-server, it has fetched the link that what is the location of that OpenSSH server. That also got stored already in the metadata, which is lying down in my system, in my laptop. And after getting that location, it goes here and checks on this location software is available. It downloads this software. This is OpenSSH admin server. It downloads this software and further install it. This is how any package management works in any of the Linux. Anybody has any doubt in this so far?
No, sir.
Really? Okay, great. If anybody has any doubt, can come back and can ask the questions. I'll be happy to reply. So I'm going to update this packages. So I have marked Y, and you can see it's downloading all the packages. And after downloading 109 packages, it will install one by one. So it's like updating the system packages. So, okay, let this be installed. And one more thing I want to tell you guys that in Linux system, please be aware that if your system is installing the software, if it's downloading, that's not a problem. But after this download, it will start installing. And during the install, you should not turn off your system. You can see that downloading is done. Now it's updating, it's installing the system. At this time, if you turn off your system, or accidentally or intentionally, it doesn't matter, the consequences of that turned off is you may not be able to reboot your system again. Got it? So before updating, please make sure that your system don't turn off or it doesn't turn off. So my purpose of this installing OpenSSH software is to access this system, this virtual box from the outside. Let me see if I am able to access this IP even or not, because it's coming in different range. I need to fix that as well. CMT ping 10.0.2.15. I think I should not be able to. Yeah, come on. Another. So what I need to do next? Windows C, host C is not working. Okay, let this installation be complete. And then I can check. That's cleaning up. Okay. So what I was trying to do here is I wanted to assign an IP to this machine from the range of my router. So I want this machine to take IP from the router so that I can access this machine. So currently what is happening is, okay, let me draw the diagram fresh here. This is my router. Through Wi-Fi, my laptop is connected here. And it has this IP 101.5. And in this laptop, I'm running a virtual machine. Sorry, I'm running a virtual box, and in this virtual box, I'm running one operating system, Linux, CentOS, which has got the IP from this virtual box. Virtual box, why? Because I have done a setting called NAT. NAT is a network which has been built inside this virtual box, that whatever the IP is going to assign to this virtual box is not going to be visible to this machine because it's a NAT. NATing is called like the whatever the IP is going to assign here is going to be the local for this virtual box. Whatever machine, suppose if I'm turning on another machine, this will also have an IP of 10.0.0. something, 0.2. something. If I'm having third operating system, this will also have an IP in the range of 10 only. So what happened? I can ping from here to here. I can ping from this machine to this virtual machine as well. I can talk from this virtual machine to this virtual machine as well. There's no problem because all IPs are in same range. But if I try to ping from this laptop to this virtual machine, I will not be able to. We have seen here just now. We know the IP of this virtual machine is 2.15, correct? This virtual machine. 10.0.2.15. Let me check if that's correct. Yeah, 10.0.2.15. You can see that. And I'm trying to ping from my laptop and it's not pinging because the range of this IP is 190 to 168. It's in different range and it's in different range, this virtual machine. So the solution for that and consequences of this different range is I will not be able to talk to this IP. I will from here. Arrow, sorry. Arrow is visible now to everyone.
Yes, sir.
This is yeah. So what I've explained, I'll do it again, no issues. This is my router and this is my laptop. Through Wi-Fi, my router is through Wi-Fi. Router is connected with my laptop, and in laptop I'm running this virtual box. And in this virtual box, I have this one virtual machine. This is second virtual machine. This is third virtual machine. And in this all these virtual machines, all this virtual machine has got the IP through NATing, and the NAT service is running in this virtual box. What the NAT service does is NAT service creates a local and its own private network, and its own private DHCP server, which gives the IP to all the running local machines. Locally running machines are these one, all virtual machines. So it has given IP in this different range, 10 dot something. And here I have got an IP of 192 range. So if I try to access this from this one virtual machine to second virtual machine, I can access because those are all local and those are all in the same range. From second IP, so from second virtual machine, I can access third virtual machine because those are all local and it's in the same range. But if I want to access this virtual machine from my laptop, so first I have tried to ping, and which is not pinging. It says timeout because I can't communicate because the range of those IPs are a bit different locally here. So what I need to do, either I need to change this 192 in 10 series, or I need to change this all 10 series IP into 192 series. Whatever the so in another method I can say that I want the IP from this router for all the virtual machines. I don't want the IP for all the virtual machine from this NAT services which is running in VirtualBox. So for that, what I will do is I will bridge the connection. Bridging the connection or changing the NAT to bridge, what it does is it bridges. There is a Wi-Fi connection here. There is a Wi-Fi connection here. So it bridges this connection to this virtual machine. And it says that I have the similar connection here also. The same connection. And when it says the same connection is here, it disables the NAT. So now the NAT is not active. It's got bridge. So all the virtual machine will go and check the IP from this router, and it will get assigned 192 series IP. Let me see how it has been done. Let's see, changing the settings. We can change the setting here. Device network, I think I need to turn off, maybe. No, let's see whether without turning off it works or not. Bridge adapter, you can see in the network settings, and I'm trying to bridge my Wi-Fi network. I'll say okay. It has changed now. IP address, it will show the 15 only, I think. Yeah, it's still showing. Now once again I will ask for the DHCP to give me the IP. Let's see what it is giving. It should give 192 series IP now, but it's not giving. So maybe I might need to reboot the system. Let's see. So in this today's session, we have covered so many things like updating package manager and utilizing package manager, and what is sudo user, and what is IP address, what is DHCP server, and how it takes the IP from the DHCP server. These are all things we have learned here. What is the message? I don't have it. Let me see the settings for it. Yeah, it's bridged. You can see it's up, but it doesn't have any IP address. Let me see if it gives me the IP address through DHCP. Yeah, it has got the IP address, which is 192.168.101.7. You can see that. Let me host C is SQL mode. Host F is 4. Oh no, it's not entering in another window. From here itself, let me do that. Oh, right control. Let's see. Yeah. So here everybody can see that it gave me an IP of 192.168.101.c. Sorry, 101.7. Okay. Now I will try to ping that particular IP. 192.168.101.7. I'm able to ping. Now in this diagram, here also I have 192 series IP, and to this virtual machine also I have gotten 192 series IP by doing the bridging. Previously I have done NATing, and NATing gives a local IP which will not be accessible to outside world. So what I have done is I have changed NATing to bridge connection, and bridge connection gives me the IP from this router, the DHCP server running outside, and it gives me the IP 192. Both are in the same range and both are local to their network, so I can have this access. So now I'm able to ping. So what my next task is to connect this virtual machine from the outside. Outside means, let me open. This is just an I don't have putty. Putty is a software which gives the terminal via a particular protocol of that particular system. So I have downloaded putty. Now I'm installing the putty. Yeah. So through putty app, I'm going to give this IP 192.168.101.7. .192.168.101.7. and using port 22. Port 22 is for SSH. SSH is it's running a server on this virtual box. This virtual box, for that server only I have installed the OpenSSH-server, and if that server is running, I can access that server is working on port 22, and I can access by giving the IP with this port. So I will open. It will ask me to accept the fingerprint, whatever this server is giving, OpenSSH server. I'm going to accept. Now it's asking for logging in as username. So I will give the username is test and the password CentOS. I have the access to this machine from the outside as well. Everybody is getting what I'm trying to say, or what I'm trying to do here right now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm trying to, yeah, good. I'm trying to access this machine, this virtual machine by using putty or any outside application. So if its server is running, I will just minimize this server. I don't want to do anything here. So generally, this is how any admin or any developer works. I will not have physical access to this virtual machine or any machine which is running. Suppose my machine which is running currently is sitting in Bangalore, and I am sitting right now is in Delhi. So my company will give me the just simply IP of this particular virtual machine and will say that, hey, use this and solve this problem. I need to log in using putty or SSH, putting putty via SSH or any other application via SSH. After logging in, I need to do whatever I can do. So let me show the IP here for that particular system. Let me maximize it again here so that other people can see in appearance. Yeah. Yeah, so control our IP. You can see this is the IP which I have talked about previously. That that system has got the IP. Okay. So far, anybody has any doubt in this session?
So I didn't understand the bridging part of
Okay.
the VMs. Yeah.
Okay, I'll repeat that. No problem. So here, this is my router, okay, and this is my laptop. Laptop is connected to router using Wi-Fi. And this laptop, I have installed in this laptop, I've installed a virtual box. And in this virtual box, I've installed, suppose 3 operating system. So by default, all the virtual box is configured to have a NAT. Okay.
Yes.
And in that NAT, it's going to assign a local IP from this virtual box service running here. This is the virtual box, okay? In that, whenever this virtual box is turned up, the service NAT service starts running here. suppose, and whenever I'm turning on a virtual machine, you have to look for the configuration that how it has been configured to fetch the IP. So previously, this virtual machine was configured to fetch the IP through NAT. So it will go and ask for this service, hey service, this give me the IP. And this NAT service is going to be local for is going to work only for this virtual box. Anybody outside from this virtual box cannot ask for this IP. NAT, whatever this NAT is going to provide the IP. So what are all services, what all virtual machines are going to run now or in future? If I'm configuring to use NAT, then it will ask for the IP from this server and it's going to give the IP in a particular range. In my machine, in my virtual box, it's giving 10.0.2 something, 2.x. You have seen that before. Okay. Now, what the problem I was facing is when I have asked for the NAT and it gives me the IP. Now the IP is in range of 10, and here which is local to only this virtual box. Local to only this virtual box means this IP will not be visible outside. So this virtual box has their own world now, may have several machines, and these several machines can talk to their own in their own world. I cannot access any machine from here. And this machine also cannot access my laptop. Yes, it will have access to the internet outside, that's correct. Because here NAT service is running. It tells if Google is Google, you are going to ping Google, it will come to the NAT and NAT will go give NAT will give the IP, NAT will give the IP. Sorry, NAT will give the IP of the DNS and it's going to go for fetching the IP of that particular website through the DNS. And that's how internet is working here. That's a different story. Here, what I'm trying to ask, what is my requirement is, I wanted to access this virtual machine from this box. So this virtual machine needs to be local to this virtual box. Sorry, to this laptop. This is my laptop. So what I need to do, I need to change this IP in 192 series so that it can be local to this machine and this router, or I need to change this laptop in 10 series so that it can be local to all the machines. Correct? Sorry. Now here I have a facility called bridging. What bridging does is it maps this network to here and says that I have another computer which is directly connected to this Wi-Fi. Bridging is a concept which bridges the connection of this router to this virtual box. So in this bridging, what is that? I'm opening the setting. I'm going to the network. You can see bridge adapter. It's asking for to bridge with what? I have given Wi-Fi. Whatever the Wi-Fi is sitting here, just please bridge with that particular network. So Wi-Fi has got an IP from this router, which is in the range of 192, and hence I have bridged it, and bridge is also connected with this router now. So if I ask this virtual machine to get the IP, this virtual machine will go to the bridge because I have changed in the setting to get the IP through bridging. Don't get the IP from NATing. NATing is here. So I have disabled the NATing for this virtual machine individually. So I have disabled the NATing for this virtual machine individually, and I have enabled in this virtual machine setting, I have enabled the bridging part. So whenever bridge, it will check that I have to take the IP from bridge, and that too from the Wi-Fi. It will go and check what is the IP the Wi-Fi is taking. It's taking from this server. From the server which is running DHCP server which is running in our router. So router gives us again a new IP whenever this virtual machine is seeking for a new IP. And that is how it has got an IP in the same range. And now this is also in this 192 series. This is also in 192 series. This has also got an IP from this server. This has also got an IP from this server. This server. Now this and this virtual machine are local. And I should be able to ping. Here you can see that. I'm able to ping here. I'm able to ping here. And if I'm able to ping, I will try to connect. I am trying to connect using SSH, and here I'm able to successfully connect with that particular server running. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Any doubt here? Any doubt? Anybody can ask. Okay. If no doubt, then I'll proceed further. I'll proceed further with the user and groups. So actually, what is called user, what is called group? In Linux or in Windows also, we have several facilities which tells us about to create different users and assign those particular users to a particular group. Why that requirement came? The requirement came is like, suppose there is a server which is getting utilized in a college. There is a server which is getting utilized by the administrator, which is the same server is getting utilized by the developer. The same server is getting utilized by the students, and the same server is getting utilized by the college faculties as well. So for students, I can say that the students need to have only this privilege. They cannot have the size limit, or they cannot store that much of size. They cannot access other folders or something like that, some restriction I wanted to mount. So for that purpose, I need to group those students user. I need to make a group of those students to a particular user. Sorry, to a group. Similarly, I need to make a different group for all the teachers or all the faculties, so that I can assign a particular policies to all the faculties. Similarly, I need to create a group for the administrator, so that I can assign all the permissions to that particular group. So that if I assign to a permission to that group, it means it will go to all the users. So the main purpose of grouping is this: you just assign to group and it automatically assign to all the users. So let's see how a user can be get added here. Test is the only user as of now present here. And if I want to create another user, I need to use user add, and then suppose test is the first user, test one I'm going to create. It has given me permission denied. Normal user cannot do, but yes, a normal user can do with the elevated privileges, and that I can do using sudo. I need to give the password CentOS. It has created the user, and it should not have created any home folder, I think. Oh, it's created. Okay, great. In older Linux version, it used to ask what is going to be the, whether I wanted to create a folder or not, home folder, so all those options, but now it didn't ask. Okay, so it has created a home folder, it has added the user. Now I need to change the password for that particular user. So for that, command is sudo password psswd, then username. What is the new password? I'm going to keep the same password. It's updated. Now I will open another session. Okay, 192.168.0.7 was that the IP or 1.7? 192.168 to 101.7. 101.7. Okay, let me save this session. So I'm going to open this, and here in this one I have logged in using test username. Now I'm going to log in using test1, which I have newly created, so that I can see that I wanted to show that whether I'm able to log in using newly created user or not. And it's asking for the password. I've given the password. You can see I'm able to log in. So how I can check I have logged in with which user? For that, command is who am I. This is showing test1. Let me go here back, and who am I? It shows test. Let me run that command again. It shows test. So test, I'm able to log in, and in this one I'm able to log in using test1. So we know how to create a user, and there are several options comes with the user creation. Okay, let me show the difference. Sudo space yum space update. Here I'm able to run. You can see that. But when I run here, sudo yum space update, it should throw error. Test is not in sudoers file. This incident will be reported. It means sudoers file is a file where all users or who are all users have elevated privileges will be mentioned there. Only those users can run the sudo command. So it's like a normal user if the normal user have a sudo permission, then only that normal user can run any admin command by using the sudo. That's what the meaning of sudo here. And that particular user should be in this particular user should be listed in the sudoers file. Let me see what is the content. I'm not sure whether I will be able to. Okay, I should be able to sudoers. Yeah, it's permission denied. So I can't see who are all user there because I don't have normal user don't have permission. So I will go here sudo cat etc sudoers. These are all the contents of this particular file. I will see here from more from starting. There are several arguments is getting set by the sudoers file. So the purpose of showing this file is we need to add a user in this file, and so how we can do that is let me exit from here. There are two methods to add in sudoers list. First, I will delete the user test1. Yeah. Okay, permission denied. So sudo. Now I will create the user. So with the argument of -g and then wheel. Wheel is a group which provides the access to sudo, and if I add test1 in this group, it will get the access of that particular group and which has the sudo permission. Let me try. Okay, I think it should be created. Let me change the password, whether it's allowing me or not. Let's see. Yeah, I will try to log in with another user now. With test1 newly created user. Now I will try to run sudo. You can see it's running here now. Correct? Last time it gave me an error that I'm not in sudoers list. It means that I don't have permission to run. I don't have permission to use sudo test1 user. So what I've done is I've just deleted and I have created a new user and added by default to this particular group. Wheel is a group which don't need the password or which can run sudo user. Similarly, suppose you have several groups created. And if you want to add this particular user to that group, for that command is it should be new group, or I think that should be new group creation. Let's say CentOS group and test1, but test1 is already created. Sorry, I should not do user add. I should modify the user to add to that group. Why it's not existing?
First of all, group add, sir. Sudo group add CentOS.
Yeah, we can do from here also. Okay, let me add a group first of all.
Yes, sir. Now it will be user mod will apply, sir.
-a option. Let's see if it. But I need to check. It's about what is for the group. Okay, capital G itself. Let's see. Rather than -a, it's added to this group. So -a option was not available. It is available, but it's not working. I don't know why it's not working.
In Ubuntu, it's working, sir. -az.
Yeah. That's what I have used -a option previously, and it was working. Here it's given, but it's not working. That it shows that -a is not the correct one. So I don't know. There may be some issue with the software. Okay. So there are several commands and several uses of this comes. So I'll share a link. Through that link, you can study what are all further use cases are there, and what are all further arguments we can utilize with. Okay.
Okay, sir.
And if you have any doubt, you can further ask me in next session. Basics are this one only. Like I can create a group, I can add user to that particular group, and if I want to add into that particular user in sudoers list, how I can do that. Those are all things has been mentioned here. Okay, but there are several more things. So I'll share a link. Through that you can go ahead and you can try several things. Now we are moving to another topic. How we can get a help in Linux. There is a manual for any equipment. Yeah, correct. For any equipment there is a manual to read. So if you go through the manual of that particular equipment or appliances, you can get to know how to utilize, how to use that, or how to expedite some work with that particular instrument. So here manual stands for short name as man. Man space something. If you're going to run, it will give you the help what that particular command is meant for. Suppose I'm using sudo. I'm doing man space sudo. Let's see. It has opened the manual for that. So you can read all the things, what it says about sudo, what are all options I can use, what are all things I can do. Okay. Similarly, I can use man for normal command call ls. Everybody knows what is used for ls. Let's see. Okay, it is open for this also. So in this Linux or in any Linux, we will have man page or manual page for all the commands. So you can get help. That is one method. Another method is to get just run the command and add --help or -h. Anything can work. Sometimes this also is an option. Look, it's coming for this -h also, or --help. For this also, it's going to show. So these are all two
Info
different
also
methods.
working.
Pardon?
Info also working, sir.
Okay, but these two are info. You meant to say this like this?
Yeah, sir. Info command name, sir. Info command name.
Oh, sudo info user mode. You are saying this. Okay. They might have added a new feature, maybe like this. But ultimately, it's going to pick from the man pages. You can see here on the top. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So ultimately, old method is still the man pages from where it's going to pick. So the best and starting thing you can use as man pages, and accordingly, if you are going to explore, you can utilize based on your requirement, based on your need, based on your taste. Whatever you want to use, you are free to use. Your purpose is you should get the information. That's all. So you can use man pages, you can use info, you can use --help, anything you can use. And we have seen how to configure privilege escalation using sudo as well, like how we can add a particular user in a sudo group and how we can escalate the privilege or give the privilege. We have seen that how to create a user, how to delete a user, how to modify a user, and group how to create. Similarly, we'll have group del to delete the group. Let's see. Group del I have done. It's executed. CentOS group might have been deleted. Now what next is let me add the group here again. CentOS group and test1 is the user of that group. Fine. And now I can see that when I've done ls, there is no file. So I'm going to create a file. Please look at it here carefully, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to change a file permission and ownership from one user, and I will try to access that particular permission and ownership from another, and it should show me then an error that I don't have permission to use that or to view that file. So that's the main purpose of this commands or this exercise here. So let's use vi and file 1 is the name. Hi, this is a file. ls space hyphen al. In ls space hyphen al, you can see that this is the user and this is the group. Test group is already there and test user is also there. I need to change the ownership. How I can change it?
chmod will apply, sir.
Yes,
CS
Permissions,
mode.
file permissions.
Pardon?
First of all, change the permissions, sir. After which we
CH
apply the
mode.
change ownership.
CH mode. Let me proceed further. CH mode will change the permission. CH on will give me to edit the ownership of that particular file.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Permission is, this is the permission, read, write, execute for this user. This is the permission for this group, and this is the permission for other user. Okay. So here read, write, execute, read, write, execute, read, write, execute. If it's all there, it means everybody has the permission for this file. That I can do chmod. I'm giving 777. Everybody has to tell me tomorrow that what is 777, how this has been decoded. Let me do the changes. Sorry. Yeah, chmod.
File 1, sir. Name file 1.
Yeah, file 1.
Yeah.
So you can see that now previously it was rw blank and r blank blank dash dash. Now here you can see rw read write execute. This user can read write execute. This user can also read write execute. This group can read write execute. So what are all users are associated with this group? Those can also read write execute. And any other user also can execute. Sorry, do the read write execute. Let me give me this 770 and let's see the permission. You can see that read write execute, read write execute, and all the permission I have removed from for other users. Okay. Now what I will do is I have switched back to another terminal, and in this terminal I have logged in from test 1. Let me zoom it out a little bit. Okay. What I wanted to do is I will try to access the, okay, first let me access the file here itself, cat file 1. I am able to see the content of this file, correct? Now the same thing I will try to do from here, slash home, okay, pwd. PWD is present working directory. I'm in a directory right now is slash home slash test, and this file 1 is in the location of slash home slash test. One minute, please. Yeah, so the location for this file is /home/test and then file1. So I will go I'll do the cat to /home/test/file1. Okay, it says permission denied. Now let me change the permission of this file from 770 to 777. Let's see if I'm able to add. It still shows the permission denied because I will not have permission for this test folder, I think. Mhm. So for that purpose, I can chmod 777-r space test. Let's see if I'm able to do that now. I'm able to access it. Okay, because I have changed the permission of this test folder itself. Here I've changed test folder. You can see the test folder permission here. You can see it's a directory which is read, write, execute to only this test user. It will not have access to other user as well. So that was the reason I was not able to access that particular file. Now let me see, after changing to 777, let me see what is the permission. You can see previously this was the permission for test. Now this is a permission for test. Okay. Now once again I will revoke the permission. So I will run 700. Let's see if it's now it's the same as previous. Got it? And if I will try to access, it's not giving me access to that file.
Sir, you are checking test one, sir, but you are waiting to test user sudo. You will change that sudo user. Test one local host you are doing that, but hello.
Sudo, yeah, sudo is an admin user, I can say that. And through that, if I'm a sudo user, I need not to ask for permission for anything.
Okay, sir.
Okay, I can do whatever I want.
Okay, sir.
Here I have not changed. Okay, let me give a try using sudo. I'm able to access even though I don't have permission. Correct? So suppose if you are an admin and you have 1,000 users in your organization. So for that, you need to create the users and you should not give the sudo user permission to them so that they cannot change anything into the server. Okay. So in that case, suppose there are 1,000 or more. Suppose let's say 10 users are there. User 1, user 2, user 3, and 10 users are there, user 10 in your organization. So in that case, I will have test 1. So similarly, I will have user 1, user 2, user 3, user 9. Till then I will have. So in that case, suppose a user 1 is trying to modify the content of user 2 or any other user. Ideally, what I should do? I should give a permission or I should not give a permission? Tell me.
What's your question?
Question was, one person is there and one user there is a let's say there are two users right now. Test one is one user, test is another user. Test has his own home directory and test one has its own home directory. So test one user is coming, and if test one user is trying to modify the test content of test file, content of the file which is present in this home directory, which is file 1. Okay, file 1 is present in this test directory. So if
Okay.
test 1 user is coming and trying to modify the file 1 content which is residing in this test directory, ideally what I should do, I should give the permission or I should not give the permission.
So
No,
for
sir.
giving the test is only for accessing that. There is no other normal user not accessing that file, right?
Correct.
So for that, changing the ownership for test and give the read write execute permission.
Yes, I'm not asking how we can give the permission. I'm asking whether you should allow one user to modify the another user content or you should not
No,
allow
sir.
that. Correct. You should not allow. If you are going to allow one person to modify another person content, then one person can go and modify, delete all the files. Then to whom you are going to claim that, hey, user one has deleted all the files of user two. You are getting my point? What I'm trying to say?
Sir.
I'll repeat here. Suppose user 1 is having 10 files and user 2 is having 20 files. User 1 is logging in through his own user account and deleting all the files of user 2. It's not a good thing, correct? This should not happen. So we should avoid this. For avoiding, I cannot give permission of user 1 to modify the user 2 files. So I should revoke all the permission. User 1 need to have only permission of its own home folder. If you're working in an organization which can give the permission to all the user to read the other files, in that case you can give a permission, but you need to revoke the permission for modify and execute. You understand what I'm trying to say here?
Sir, one more doubt. If we give the only two permission, uh, for other user they can only view the file only. They cannot change modify anything, right?
Two permission means?
For example, we if we don't give the execute permission, they can only see that file. They cannot make any modification.
Wait for a minute. Yeah, so your question was
Sir,
two
my question
permission.
was,
Mm-hmm.
uh, if we do any modification
Mm-hmm.
in that file, we need the read write and execute permission, right?
No, for modifying we need not to have execute permission. We just need to have write permission.
Sir,
Let's see.
after write we should execute that file. Otherwise, how it saves, sir?
Okay, we can see here.
Ah.
What was your question? Your question was,
If I give the only read and write permission, then it only we can read that file only. We can view that file only. We cannot do any modification without execute permission.
okay, let's see. So for that, Correct? This is what you wanted. Read, write, execute is not there. Read, write, execute is not there. And after this, you are saying that I should not be able to delete the file which is in test directory. Is that correct what you're saying?
No, sir. I'm saying I cannot do any modification. Right? I'm adding new line like that.
Okay. Okay. So right now I am in another terminal. I have given the permission. I have revoked the execute permission. Okay. For other and for the test group also. But I have given the permission for read write to all user, for read write to all user, to all the group, to the group test group, and read write to the test user as well. Okay. So read write permission everybody is having. So let me try to modify whether see whether it's throwing any error or not.
You can use the cat.
That should be there. No, not sudo.
Sir,
I should
without
not.
sudo
Yeah.
permission denied. Okay, home test.
Sudo applies, sudo vi.
No, sir, you cannot give sudo to everybody.
So test one is sir, in ownership you give the test only, sir. That's why the test owner only user can only see that.
That's not the reason. Okay, I will ask everybody to work on this since you have all the knowledge, like how to change the group and how to change the permission. Just only one more comment I will give, and I look into this more, like why test one user is not able to access the content of test. Okay. Ideally, it should be I have just removed the execute. The execute means if I want to run this file, it should not run. That's the only meaning of this plus X. Plus X will not stop me reading of the file. It will not stop me from writing into the file. Read write permission is there. Plus X will stop me in executing the file. What is the meaning of execution here? Let's see. I have, sorry, I should be in this test. Okay. Vi test / file1. So I'm going to run a script. Slash bin/bash echo printing from file. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So what this is going to do is I will print the content of this file. It will have all this content. Now I want to execute the file. Execution will do from like this. I need to give / and then the file name. Like this, what would happen? It executes the file. If I run this, it should execute the this file, and in this file I have written just to print the printing from file, just to print this. That's what I wanted to do. That's printing. Okay. So you know the difference in between execution and reading or writing?
Yes, sir.
Executing plus X means I want to execute this file. So for that, I need to make it executable. And for reading and writing, I can just do simply, I can open this particular file in a particular user, and it gives me the permission to read or write. Okay. So my question is, I have given read write to all the users, all the other users, even though why I'm not able to write to this file one? That's my question. Okay. So for tomorrow, I will give you the 2 assignments. This is one, why I'm not able to modify. Second assignment is, what is this permission chmod 777? What is the 777 in that? Okay, what is the 777? This is second thing. And third is, I will send you the link of some of the tutorial or some of the exercise which you need to read and go through and try on your own system. And one last command I will try to tell that how to change the ownership. Chown, then users CentOS. What was the group I have created? Okay, let me change the if I do the group, the ownership and the group, it's coming, sorry, this one, the ownership and group is coming test, correct? Now I want to change the group and ownership, group, user and group. So I need to change the ownership, chown, using chown, and then test1 colon test1, then file name. Operation not permitted. I don't have permission to change the ownership. So I will add sudo and I can do that. You can see that the ownership has been changed now. Now for this, the owner is test1. So like this, I can change the ownership of that particular file. So you have all the commands for changing the ownership, changing the group, adding the user, deleting a user, and modifying the user permission. All those things you need to try. Okay, let me stop the recording.